We're live!
Whoa!
Cheers, boys.
Cheers, fellas.
Happy Sunday soak.
Happy Sunday soak. I am actually drinking the Goose Island whiskey sour, but it's in a red cup, just so everybody knows.
Fancy boy back here. He's
Powered
fancy.
by Goose Island.
Yeah, the Sunday soak is powered by Goose Island. It's an all-question show. But before we get to the questions, we got to do the humble brag. Treasy, you got humble brag for us.
So the humble brag is me. I was able to leave Vegas.
Yep.
Fly all the way back to Chicago, lose a couple hours, still make it to the game.
Yep.
And then after that, we still had a few drinks after the game. So it was I think a great performance by myself.
Yeah.
Despite the terrible performance by the team.
Fantastic, absolutely. And Treasy, to your credit, when you rolled into the stadium, you dropped the beer off for me right away.
Exactly.
You came prepared. You came through. You bought a round right away.
You can't do it any other way.
That.
You can't do it any other way.
Before we get on to the all questions show, got to give a very special happy birthday shout out to our guy, Senor Socks. Happy birthday, Senor Socks.
Can't wait to see you at a game to celebrate, buddy.
This guy flies in from Vegas and comes in, brings down beer. You live an hour away and you still can't make it to a game. Happy birthday, but you suck.
I hope your wife and your dozen children are showering you with praise today.
Yep.
All right, let's start on the questions. The first question leading off is Bologna. And Bologna asks, Beef, we talked about Lena's Pizza on the playback. And if you guys don't know what the playback is, we do watch parties for White Sox games, especially White Sox road games. It's us and the Sox Machine boys. We talk over the game kind of in place of Jason and Steve, and we have a lot of fun. You can get up in the comments there and chat with us. Bologna says, the playback, I love to miss it. That is Lena's Pizza. What's one restaurant that's closed down that you wish could come back? I'll start. Go first. For me, it's La Milanese. We live right across the street from it. Excellent pizza, breaded steak sandwiches. Pretty much everything they made was terrific. But I really could go for a slice of that thick pizza right now. It was unbelievable.
Great. They made a great beef sandwich too.
Absolutely.
That should not be underestimated. Their whole menu was incredible. So
Yeah.
it was the west side of Bridgeport's Riccobenni's basically.
Basically was. Yeah,
and,
that's right.
Grew up eating it. Loved that place. I will go a different direction since I had a feeling you were going to go La Milanese.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with a bar slash food kind of joint, and that is the Beer Bistro. One of my favorite places. I've written blogs about how much I miss that place. That was my cheers for like the longest time. I went there the morning after my wedding.
Yeah.
But I went there not with my wife because she was driving the other car, had all the other stuff.
Yeah.
I got home first and I didn't have keys to the place because they were in the other car. So me and her maid of honor went over to Beer Bistro, and like I said, the bartenders knew me in there, and they're like, Chris, congratulations on your wedding. And the waitress, who had not met me before, congratulated me and the maid of honor on our wedding. And the maid of honor was like, I'm not his wife, which confused the hell out of me because this was hours after my wedding.
Absolutely. MSS, how about you?
I'm going to do one. I'm going to do a salad for my oldest daughter.
Okay.
Little Miss Shortstop. She misses something in the Bridgeport neighborhood so much that yesterday she brought home a piece of it because they tore it down. She misses Mario Mattis.
Oh,
So
yeah.
She really was. She brought home a piece of concrete, and it was sitting on their table. I go, what in the hell is this? And she goes, Dad, it's a piece of Mario Malley. And then she's like, I miss it so much. So I'm never. But it was me. The salsa and the cow. I missed that. Good burrito. Very good burrito.
Is it gone, or is it just that you're not there anymore?
It moved. It moved.
You're
and it
gone.
was never the same.
Okay.
They decided, hey, we can make more money selling Hispanic groceries to people
Okay.
other than making food. So it just turned into a grocery store.
That's bogus.
It is bogus.
God damn it. All right.
Best goddamn burrito on DeKalb.
That was good. Great job. Next question is from Francisco Barrios Burner. And Burner says, is this the dumbest White Sox team that you can remember? Treasy, you go first.
I mean, it's close, right? Because they make so many boneheaded errors in the field. They run into each other. They let the ball drop in the infield like they did 15 hours ago. Yeah. You know, all that stuff. But I'm going to go with the Black Sox because there was a guy who couldn't even write. He couldn't read and write. They all thought they were going to get away with throwing the World Series. Yeah. I mean, pretty dumb team. Pretty overall dumb team. And I think that education was a lot more lacking back then. Yeah, well, so I'm going to say that they were probably pretty stupid. So I'm going to go with the Black Sox.
My Sox, though, what do you think?
I don't know, man. Because I can remember 2012 White Sox. I think it's 2012. Gordon Beckham, he seems pretty stupid. He's too good looking not to be dumb. And then you also had Addison Reed. And Addison Reed seemed like a...
You come out to Kid Rock.
Kind of a dumb too.
Oh, but the song, though. That was my jam.
I'm more about, like, just giving him a hard time. Like, Addison Reed was not the smartest person. Because I remember him tweeting after he gave up 3 runs in a closing situation. It's like, I just want to make it interesting. And immediately, his Twitter was gone. Like, somebody came down, just like he came down last night and stole that sign away. Yep. And told Addison, get your dumb ass off of Twitter. Do not say that shit. We're trying to compete for a division title. Come on.
I like this question, and when I was thinking about it a little bit, I was trying to think, do you remember any especially smart White Sox teams? Because I don't.
No.
Even the good ones, I don't think were particularly smart. Like, they made dumb mistakes, too. Even the World Series team, yeah, shit all went right, so it didn't seem like they made the dumb mistakes. But I think we kind of, like, because this team's so disappointing, it's like, well, some of it's got to be stupid, you know, they're making dumb plays. And they are making dumb plays. I mean, I'm not denying that. I don't know how much more stupid they are than the normal White Sox, the median White Sox team we see.
So they're mean stupid. I think I'm a little bit above the mean.
A little above the mean. You're probably right. A little bit above. Yeah,
as in dumbness.
In dumbness, yeah. When you're going in the dumb direction. Yeah,
I was going to say, they're below the bell curve, but then I was like, because I was thinking of how you would actually grade somebody. But if we're grading on dumbest being the best.
The dumb curve, yeah.
Then, yeah, they're high.
They're like a B- of dumbness. Right? Yes. Like, they're kind of a little bit shaded there.
Right. I'd say B+. B+ dumbness.
Dumbness, okay. All right. I like that. Good approach.
How about a solid B?
Next question is from White Sox Sal.
Hey, go fuck yourself, Sal.
And Sal asks, seeing a lot of fans enjoying Elvis Night. Which theme night do they need to bring back, and which new theme night should the White Sox add next year? I think the theme night, and it's been agreed upon from this group for a long time, that needs to be brought back is Mullet.
Yes.
And that's Brooks Boyer's original brainchild. He told us that when we interviewed him a couple years ago, that's like one of the only, like his only ideas that made it all the way out there. Usually it's his smart team, and he just kind of oversees them. So Mullet Night's got to come back. But what about one theme night that they could add to these guys? What do you think?
So initially I was like being selfish about this and going like 90s grunge night would be awesome, and I would love it. Yeah. But I think 90s hip hop night would blow the roof off the place. Yeah, like I think people would be way into that. Any wedding you go to, you know, and they go like, okay, now we're gonna play some like 90s hip hop. Yeah. The dance floor fills up. Yeah, everyone's way into it. We went. There was like a 90s night or something like last year.
Yeah.
And they had the guys that do their
tag team.
They had tag team there before the thing, and I showed up early. A bunch of people showed up early to see them perform and throw out the first pitch. So yes, 90s hip hop night would be bonkers. People would love it.
I love that idea. Am I such anything else?
Some of this too.
Well, yeah. When you first said I was feeling a little bit selfish, I thought you were going to go the way I'm going to go, and it's dressed like your favorite 108er night. And it doesn't just include the 3 of us; it includes everybody. So if you want to put on your Jesus piece and slick your hair back, you can go like Wally. If you want to like let your curls just flow and wear your favorite tie-dye, you can dress just like Bruhan Luke. You know, like spray paint your hair orange. It doesn't even matter. Dress like a leprechaun. No one would even know the difference. Ginger steal your soul if they look directly in your eyes, and you can do that to your friends on 108 night.
That's why I started wearing sunglasses to the stadium. Great job, guys. Just for the listeners at home, there is a bee that is right now fucking the question.
I know, it's so weird.
It fucked Francisco Barrios' question, and now it's fucking White Sox Sal's question, working down to this next one that we're bringing to you from Mailman Jack. And Mailman Jack asked, which player on the current White Sox roster will get a $100 million contract, either from the White Sox or from some other team? MSS, you start first. Who do you think is the first guy out of the group here that's going to get $100 million either here or somewhere else?
you know who I want to go with, but I don't know if I can do it. He might have fucked it up, but it's a possibility still. Probably going forward, probably not with us. Tim Anderson will get over $100 million contract.
Oh, okay.
That'd be something. I think
especially if he got it on the next deal. He got over $100 million. How about you,
he's a little
Tracy?
older at that point. You know the guy that I was thinking about.
Thanks for shooting on my answer.
No.
He's just trying to figure out the timing, like because Tim's probably going to be here for a few more years.
Yeah.
Then he would have to get a $100 million contract.
I was just thinking through like they're going to pick up the option. I wasn't thinking this was a bad idea.
Yeah.
Man, you know who I think it might be? I mean, like Dylan Cease is probably most.
That's most likely
easy
smart answer.
Yeah.
But I'm going to say Michael Kopech.
Okay.
I'm going to say that the Sox trade Michael Kopech, and that the team immediately re-signs him to an extension to buy out the rest of his arbs and takes him up to $100 million, making him the first one.
Oh, I like it. I kind of like that. Yeah, I'm going to go with Dylan Cease. I think it's kind of an obvious one, not only because of the talent level and the performance, but he's been incredibly durable also. And so those are the kind of guys you want to bet big money on, the guys that you're going to get the durability from. So they're going to be there all the time. I still think Lucas Giolito turns it around in 2023. He'll get a $100 million contract as well.
Because the 500
500
out of the realm of possibilities for a starting pitcher.
For sure, yeah, exactly. He's got to be above average kind of and still sort of young, and Lucas will be both of those after next year's season. So assuming he has a good year next year, maybe he sneaks in and does it. But I think Dylan Cease is a damn near lock unless something weird happens. Next question is from Josh Nelson, and Josh says, who deserves more of the blame for the 2022 struggles? Is it Rick Hahn, Tony La Russa, or Matt Ramsey?
I mean,
Tracy, you want to start?
It's Matt Ramsey for my financial struggle. He's been bleeding the 108 dry on 50-50 raffle tickets.
Yes, he has.
And the thing is, we figured out the other day that he doesn't even work for the Sox.
He's got a fake thing.
A fake thing.
Made an investment, bought the shirt off eBay. Yep.
That's right. And he prints it out like they do too. But then when you look up and it'll be like, the number will be K something or other. We got all J's. And it's like, what the fuck? We didn't get the first thing. We're not out already.
He's just been using it to buy cocaine from Esteban Loaiza and reselling it to my Sox.
And I put it in bobbleheads and resell it on eBay.
But I mean, the serious answer to this question, though, we had this conversation last night with a guy in the 108.
Yeah.
The guy's telling us how bad the roster is. We got too many guys that play first base and DH, and then even those guys can't hit now. All this stuff. But he likes Rick Hahn, and I can't get the disconnect. Like, Rick Hahn is responsible for all the guys that are on the field, right? And when you go well, they got injuries. Every team has injuries. Where are the guys to back them up? And no, you don't have those guys. You didn't do the depth moves. You didn't do all the things that you're supposed to do when you're like taking a team from the end of the rebuild into contention.
Yeah,
that's where the biggest failure you see happen. And so I gotta say Rick Hahn. There's only so much I could blame Tony La Russa for. Even the other day, we're like, oh, he's doing the walk with 2 strikes. All these things did not affect the game.
No,
they didn't actually have an effect on the outcome. Yeah. And so who else is there to blame? Rick Hahn. So you go up.
Yeah, you got to go up the chain. How about you?
Optically, obviously, Tony La Russa is the one that you have to blame for the struggles. But Tony La Russa did not decide who's on this team. So that I think Rick Hahn is obviously the right answer. But it's hard, and the hardest part about it, and the most telling part about it, I guess would be the more appropriate way to say it, is that the guy that was picked up off the scrap heap right before the season started is your most durable pitcher. That's kind of a big problem. And then also you bring in a guy who is a league average, maybe below league average second baseman, and we're like, holy Christ, this guy's going to win a Gold Glove because he is so good at the second base position. It's like when you sign a player that's supposed to play that position, it's amazing. So I'm going to have to give the nod in this case, even though Matt Ramsey's a very strong contender, to Rick Hahn.
Yeah, Orange Whips. It's Hahn. I agree. I'm not a La Russa fan. I haven't been since they brought him back. I think he probably gets more shit than he deserves, but that's what the managers are there to do. They're there to catch all that bullshit. But it's not. And it's interesting that the fan base is starting to see it now. And so before it was like it was such a pro Hahn fan base, and the sports talk radios, they bend over backwards for Rick Hahn. They just absolutely are addicted to Rick Hahn. And the fans are finally starting to realize the disconnect there, that just he's not making things happen and not pulling in a winning team. So it's definitely not.
He's just incredibly
The next question is from Kevy Hendricks. Kevy says, is the White Sox ugly play making them look less handsome as a unit. MSS, what do you think, man?
Oh, 100%. I mean, if you could say, hey, we need to get these guys to look bad so we can not pay them going forth in the future, we've done a perfect job of that.
Yep.
Because they're not doing things that they should be doing. When they're trying to round bases and they're looking back and they're running and then they're like, oh, and then oh. They just look ugly. They're very ugly.
You know, ugly handsomeness. Like I'm going to go with this in a little different direction of just likability.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, like this was such a likable team. Like you were like, oh man, I love this guy. I love that guy.
Hendricks, when he's good.
And to your point, who's the most likable guy on this team right now? Johnny Cueto.
Johnny Cueto. Yeah.
He's only picked up because Lansley got hurt.
Yeah.
Like so, the fact that like you went from loving so many players on this team and just like going like, oh man, I can't wait to see what this guy's going to do in his career. It's so awesome to going like, I only care when Johnny Cueto pitches.
Yeah. Got to get there early.
It is a brutal move. No, I agree. I mean, like there's something that has to do with like your accomplishments and how well you do things and what you do as a person that adds to your good lookingness. And White Sox don't got any of that right now. It is definitely dragging all their looks, and you can see it out there. You see the way people react to guys that they used to like. The fan base, Lucas Giolito, Yoel Moncada, people that were materially liked by the fan base. Now you see it sliding over, and less people are like in their court. So it's definitely happening.
It reminds me of the modern drunkard rules, and then one of them is if you're behind the bar, you're 50% more attractive. All of these guys moved from behind the bar. They were behind the bar last year, very attractive. They came out. They're the ugly lights. Boys. They came out. They're just standing in line now, and then the ugly lights went on, and man, it ain't looking good.
The bus boys, not the bus boys. All right, next question is from Matt Ramsey. And Matt Ramsey says, which male adult film star would you most like to add to the 108 roster for everyday activities? Sunday soaks, podcasts, bachelor party appearances, etc. My Sox Summer, this is really your purview. So
I wanted to go first because I think he's got a bigger breadth.
Well, but here's the deal. Everyone's going to expect me to say J-Mac.
That's not the good answer.
But it's not. And the reason it's not is because I will be like Chris Farley show all over J-Mac. I mean, you remember that time you fucked so-and-so? Because he's fucked everybody 3 times. So I would just talk about his old, like, his messings arounds with, like, Violet Myers or, any other Latina actress that has come along for the last 15 years. This guy is just amazing, and I would be Chris Farley'd out when I'm sitting there with him. Yeah. So, to nod to this guy, and to you kind of too, Kieran Lee. Like, he just seems like a really pretty easy-going dude.
Yeah. Great
meme. Every time we post about our blog or something coming up, we just put that nod meme or GIF of Kieran Lee, and everyone's like, hey. I mean, he's done just as much work as J-Mac. He's just as prolific as J-Mac, but not as loved as J-Mac for me. So he's also critique him as a person.
MSS, I like this choice because he's also fiscally responsible. He's insured his penis for $1 million.
That's
the guy,
smart.
He takes care of business. He's a smart businessman. We can use a guy like that. Treasy.
I'm going to go Evan Stone.
Oh, all right.
Too. Now, I mean, we already know that the look works because him and MSS have the same look.
That's right, yeah.
But the guy is funny. He knows who you are.
He does.
Yeah. He knows who you are.
They're basically friends.
Yeah, and then the other thing is, like, if you think about the guys who are in porn, but also in the skin flicks that they'll show on like Cinemax late night.
Oh yeah.
He's one of those guys. So he's not a great actor or anything, but he's a good enough actor.
Yes.
To be in those, which makes him good enough to be in the 108.
Plus, he's the right age. You'll be like an elder.
Yeah. He could be a mentor to us, basically. No, I agree with that. I was thinking a little
probably our age.
I was thinking a little different direction to this. I was thinking, it's important to have a good sense of humor in the 108. And I can't help but think about finding these reels every once in a while, like 3 to 5 minute reels of a guy who worked for Bang Bros, and it was all reels of him coming way too fast for the scene. And that's Mike Adriano. That's our guy we need, because any guy that is willing to like allow that out there in the internet when he's supposed to be doing a scene and he comes in like 2 seconds, like that's our guy right there. Our guy is willing to embrace all kinds of crazy humor, so that's got to be him.
Self-deprecating.
Self-deprecating guy. That's what I need, man.
I get it.
Is he the blonde kid?
No, I think he's
Spiky
got
hair?
that. No, I think
Oh,
okay. The next question's from Nick Garcia. Nick G. How you doing, Nick?
Saw you
Good
last
seeing you,
night.
baby. And he says in the hit 2000. What's this a hit? In the hit 2006 film
It
Beer
was a
Fest
hit.
by Broken Lizard. I guess a different measure of hit. Which drinking game would each of you be best at? And who would be the other two members of the 108 you would bring into the drinking competition? Now, Treasy, you told me you have a dissertation on this.
First,
Go
I'd
ahead.
say cult classic, not hit film.
Cult classic.
But I'm
For
good.
them,
I'm
it
good.
was a hit, though.
I mean, it was a Broken Lizard hit, but not in any comparison to Super Troopers. So calm down.
Super Trooper's Second Life on DVD was bigger than the theatrical run. I would say Beer Fest was probably bigger in the theaters.
Did you see it in theaters?
No, I did. No, I didn't.
They didn't even have this short
You
run.
tried to lie it out. I appreciate it.
So, I know you guys, Beef, you don't watch movies ever.
Not really.
And then
Too
my Suck
busy
Summer,
hitting curveballs and getting pussy.
my Suck Summer, you were absolutely high as fuck when you saw this. So I'm going to name some of the competitions that I remember. I confirmed these with Nick last night that they do these in there.
Yeah.
So there is Monkey Chug,
Okay.
which if you're not familiar with Monkey Chug, this is chugging a beer while you're suspended upside
Yep.
down. There was
Okay.
Volume Chug.
Okay.
You're just trying to drink as much as possible.
Yeah.
Das Boot.
There was Das Boot, yes.
Yep.
There was Beer Pong.
Beer pong.
There was Turbo Quarters,
Yep.
and there was Thumper. Now,
Yep.
Thumper is a table, like, hey, you're banging on the table, doing hand gestures types of game.
Yeah.
So those are the ones to choose from. Beef, I'll let you go first.
Well, I mean, I never played a lot of these drinking games. When we played drinking games, we played card games and stuff. We didn't play a lot of this stuff. And I wasn't in a frat. I didn't go away to school. However, I played beer pong just one time my entire life. We went over to our friend's house. It was a backyard thing. They set up a couple tables in the garage. I never played. Our buddy's uncle's like, come on, Beef, you play, you'll be on my team. And we whooped everyone's ass completely in beer pong. So I think I'm kind of a natural. If I practiced up, I think that'd be my event.
I'm gonna go with Volume Chug, and the reason that I'm gonna go with Volume Chug is because back in the day, and I think I could do it if I started training again, we could drink a lot of beers. We drank a lot of beers. Now the second part of the question is who's gonna come with us?
Yeah.
Oh,
Well,
so
let's-
should I go?
let's do-
Wait,
let's do
okay,
that.
all right,
Let's
Volume
do
Chug,
that.
no, but it ties in. All right, go ahead.
So for looking at from my side, I took a different route to this. Now, we would get absolutely destroyed in a beer fest. The one
Yes. Yeah.
way. So I want a first round out. So I'm going quarters. None of us can play quarters. We will lose quickly, but that's the one that's going to do the least damage to you out of all of those
Personally,
things.
okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Maybe Thumper, but I don't want to play
I don't even
table
know.
and hand game bullshit.
Thumper hardly knew.
So I'm going quarters
Okay.
so that we could just enjoy the beer fest together instead of having to compete.
I like that. Now, who we at? Who are the two people?
Okay, who are you going to add? So give me one that you're going to add.
Biggins.
Yeah, Biggins is, I think,
A universal.
easy.
Yeah.
And now, is it someone from White Sox Twitter that we have to?
It just says 108ers.
Okay.
So it says kind of what the 108.
You know who we're going with.
Oh,
Biggins driver.
Yeah,
Slump
it's
Buster.
Slump
Ooh, I don't
agree.
know.
I'm going to add both of them. I agree. with you.
Here's the
I'm gonna
deal.
add two. Yeah.
We didn't say you have to not be sloppy by the time you're done with the Volume Chug. I just need him to drink all of it, and he can do that.
Those guys been doing that for a long time,
Right.
and they don't like to lose either.
No,
they
that's
want to
true.
win. You know, they got the determination. So it might fuck with us getting knocked out in the first round deal, but at least we put up a good
I was
fight.
going to say if we're going to add someone that we think could work well.
Yeah.
One guy I was looking at, he's a younger guy.
Yeah.
He's someone like Brian Knights.
Oh,
Because
for
I bet
sure,
he
yeah.
knows all those games.
Yeah,
he seems
right.
like a guy that knows all those.
For sure.
Or
Yeah.
Southside behavior if we're going to do chugs.
That's
She
true.
seems
Well-
really good at the chugs.
Our guy Rudy out chugged, so like we might have to go Rudy.
But
Yeah,
you
we-
know what?
That's
Who
true.
do you take for lasting power over Southside behavior or Rudy? I take
Rudy.
Southside behavior. No, I don't
Yeah,
think he's
Rudy
lasting.
too. He's a
I don't
musician.
know.
Yeah.
They gotta drink, man. That's part of the that's on the thing. It's on the license.
I don't know.
What do you need there?
Oh, yeah.
Whiskey, and a whiskey. All right, the next question is from Malort Rocks. This is Roxy. On average, how many beers do you think the OG 108ers crush in a weekend series at the ballpark?
This is at the ballpark.
Yeah, so I was going to say, we did a blog about 3-4 years ago. It went back when it was materially the three of us and then Biggins and Slump Buster. And I calculated that we drank 20,000 ounces of beer over the season. Now, this included pregame, hanging out before then, and after games. Now, we do less of the pregame and postgame shit these days. And now we're not strictly a beer crew. But back then, 20,000 ounces between five of us for the entire season was basically a safe bet. Like, I thought we had that easily. Now, as a group, I would say if we're counting even before the game, like on a
Right
Friday.
now, who's the group? Is it just us three?
Yeah, it's just us three
Okay.
for this, in my personal opinion.
That's, yeah, it's
Because
at
they
OG.
can't be in it because they
It's
don't.
at OG. That's why I'm just
Yeah,
sure
no.
you were counting right.
Correct. Yeah, it's just the because the other guys don't come
Kill us.
that much anymore.
Kill us.
So I think like before a game, you and I will probably have like 3 beers. In the stadium, we probably have 4 or 5, and then like on a Friday or Saturday night, we're probably having 2 or 3 more afterwards. So let's count ourselves for 10 each. Now MSS would be on that same pace, but he doesn't always drink beer.
No.
He goes mixed drinks. So I don't know. Maybe a strong weekend for an individual one of us would probably be in the 35 beer range, something like that. You know, somewhere in that range. You know, we used to be a lot stronger. We would tailgate for several hours sometimes, and we would have games where we would be 16, 18 beers deep. We would have beer vendors that come and drop a 12-pack for us at the end, no charge, back in the old days. Like, so shit has calmed down since. We're older men now. We can't handle that kind of activity.
Only 36 in a week.
That's a big weekend for us.
Yeah.
Like 30 minutes, probably about
It's
average.
probably 30 field.
Per person, right?
Diabetes.
Yeah, that's right. All right, but great question. Thanks so much. Next question is from our guy Shane Spagnuolo. I've seen a bunch of Shane lately.
What's up, Shane?
Shane says, "You guys ever gonna go bring back the bandanas or headbands? And how about bringing back the keychain bottle openers? MSS."
Both very good questions, Shane. Actually, I want to do a custom handkerchief, but the problem is, and this is what I'm finding out, is you can only customize the middle of the handkerchief. You can't do the outside.
Okay.
And one of the things that I wanted to be able to do is to fold it into the strips, like you know how the Bloods and Crips used to do it, and
Yeah.
let your flag fly. I wanted to strip it so that we could have the 108 logo on there. So when we roll into like Minnesota or next year or Cincinnati, we can go, we're flying our flag out the back pocket, so these motherfuckers know not to come mess.
They know what's up.
Yeah, they said don't. Oh shit! I came right out of the flat top.
Yeah.
He's pissed now.
Unfazed by your ass.
Probably gonna die. But yeah, so that's what I'm trying to find out. I'm trying to get that fucking D, and I'm trying to get a good handkerchief. Keychains. What do you guys think? I don't know. The problem is,
bring it back.
like
Yeah.
they have some nice ones now that are like look like the skeleton key, you know, that go on there, and we can put the logo a little bit bigger.
I like the
You
old
like the
simple
old
one.
one?
Yeah, I like that simple one, man.
I like to change shit up, man. But yeah, we could do
I
that.
don't want a lot of shit to carry. Like I like a small
That's
keychain
true.
like that is nice.
That's
It's
true.
compact.
What
Right?
do you guys think? Should we bring them back?
Bring it back.
All of it,
Bring
man.
it all
Bring
back.
it all
Yeah,
back.
bring it all back. I love wearing the gaiters. You know, like I'm wearing right now. I got the
Yeah.
gator on my head. It has multiple uses.
And we got
I like
one more
those gaiters.
T-shirt we're gonna drop, right? We'll do a pre-sale this week,
Yep.
probably,
Yep.
and
that T-shirt going.
buy this T-shirt.
It's
and
a
then
fall
that might
T-shirt
turn
for
into
you,
it.
baby.
Yeah,
I think a group of you out there is gonna enjoy that.
yeah.
All right, the next question is from our guy, longtime guy, aloha, Mr. Hand. Mr. Hand says, "I see Walter got a haircut. It looks very familiar to me. Can you help me identify so I make sure I don't get it myself?" Well, Mr. Hand, I don't think you have the hair to work with to get Walter's haircut.
Right.
But Walter's haircut did look a little familiar. I'm
It's-
see it somewhere.
Yes, it's modeled after his favorite football player, Johnny Unitas. He has the Johnny Unitas cut, and I said, "Well, did you go and get the Johnny Unitas?" He said, "I did because I'm trying to live up to my best friend."
Yes.
Who clearly has been banned on Twitter because we haven't seen anything. He hasn't posted anything in like a week and a half, which is very unlike Gabe. Gabe, we hope you're okay, even though I know you don't watch this show.
I think he self-banned himself from the 108 ones.
Yes, he
So,
did.
yes.
He did self-ban himself.
Probably a good move for a lot of people. Next question is from Kay Bizzle. This is an interesting question for you guys.
Who's Gabe Bizzle?
Kay Bizzle said, "What would it take for you to not renew your season tickets?" And put the star on there and said, "Put yourself in the pre-108 days, because obviously you have a lot of external reasons to continue being season ticket holders. But just as a fan and season ticket holder, what would it take to get you to cancel your tickets?"
I think if I were a season ticket holder this year,
Yeah.
and we got to into the off season, and they did very little to change what was out there this year, I would cancel my tickets.
MSS, how about you?
So if I'm not in the 108, and it's going to come down to, do I want to have extra spending money and go to different, sporting events, or
Yeah.
go to the White Sox? It's just going to be, it would be like how badly I get treated as a season ticket holder.
Right.
Like, and what they would do. Like, I'm assuming, and they kind of picked up it on this season because they're throwing shit at us left and right now. They're like, hey, come to the check.
really.
Come to the
But at
batting
least,
practice.
but there was
We're
nothing.
trying this.
Yeah, they're
No,
trying.
what MSS is saying, there was nothing. Now there's been a bunch of stuff that
And
they're trying to get us to do.
We have people that got season tickets this past year are going to be in a suite today with AJ Przinsky.
Yeah.
That's a big selling point. That's like,
For sure.
you know, you're thinking about canceling. So here, come meet AJ Przinsky, and he'll sign your tits. So those are the things that you're going to have to look at, because, as Loaf has said several times, season ticket money is just it's a very
it's like a sunk cost. You got it in there, man.
It's what is this? It's called something spending though. You're just you're not looking at it to make a return. Yeah, disposable income. You know, you're trying to not making a return on that investment.
Right.
You know, obviously, because we live in the neighborhood and we're right here, it's so easy for us to do what we do. So it's a totally different story. But yeah, if I was going to have to drive in from, let's say, I don't know, Sugar Grove, I'm not driving in that many times. This team sucks ass, and they're not doing anything to try to retain.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you're kind of barking up the tree. I am. Like, price point could make me like cancel it if they shot the prices up tremendously, and I didn't think I was getting the value there. See, I think the White Sox have always been a good value when they had bad teams, because the ticket prices were so low, and I like the entertainment. I like watching baseball, so that's helpful for me. Another factor, and I know you said you can't use 108, so we'll just do it generically, is if the people I was sharing tickets with, or the people that I sat near in my season ticket neighborhood, what I would call my section, if they were all jumping out, it would probably convince me to jump out, because part of it is a social thing. You want to be around the people that you hang out with at your seats. You, especially season ticket holders that have been in their seats for, let's say, at least 3-5 years or more. You've gotten to know people around you. And so, like, some of the joy is to say, I don't see these people all the time. These are my summer friends. I want to go hang out with them. If they start dropping out, you'd have like this contagion effect, potentially, of other season ticket holders in the area. Oh, my friend Bob. Oh, Bill. Oh, Jenny over there is not going to be here anymore. Why the fuck should I stay here? Those are the people I want to talk to at the game. So those are the conditions in which I would drop the season tickets.
I will say that kind of thing requires a high contagion. And your contagion level is no higher than the common class.
Yes.
And if you know what that's for.
You're a real one right there. All right, next question is from Shankster, longtime guy, a Sterling guy. With MSS.
Sterling, what's up?
Shankster asks a two-part question. He says, he's squeezing me for extra questions here. He says, which former Sox player is Jerry going to bring in next to manage the team? And then he says, and why exactly does Beefloaf dislike the movie Back to the Future?
Let's start with the last question first.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you why I don't like it either.
Go for it.
Wow.
Treasy.
So we had a friend back in the day.
Yeah.
We grew up with this person.
Yep.
Back to the Future was their favorite movie.
Yes.
And I was like, that cannot be your favorite movie. It's just a horny old man tricking some kid and getting in his car.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know why this is your favorite movie. And from there, it's almost like Dave Matthews, where everyone tells me I should like Dave Matthews.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I shouldn't.
No,
and now, in fact, I don't like them. Yeah. And I start to really dislike
But you got to see him in concert. No, you don't.
No, you don't.
Because it's just longer versions of the songs you don't want to hear.
And that's what Back to the Future has become for me, where people are like, dude, how could you not like Back to the Future? And it makes me double down on the fact that I don't like it.
That's your 90s ethos.
It
That's
is.
your 90s
It is.
ethos.
Yeah.
It really is.
Pretty much all of what Treasy said is accurate. If people went with I like Back to the Future because of the nostalgia of that time period, and like, okay, I was growing up or whatever. But people try to sell it to you like it's the greatest thing since it's kind of a shitty movie. It's just kind of a crappy, average-ish, who gives a fuck movie. And I think about it this way. I watched the Coming to America sequel, right?
Yeah.
It's bad. But I enjoyed it because I like the nostalgia of the original Coming to America. And I like them telling the jokes or whatever. It's okay to say a movie that I like stinks. There's nothing wrong with that. And Back to the Future, for me, is right in that wavelength.
First off, do not put Coming to America and fucking Back to the Future in the same ballpark. They're not even in the same ballpark.
Well, the original Coming to America is far better than Back to the Future.
Oh, my God.
The second Coming to America is far worse. The sequel.
Yeah.
I'm talking
I like
the sequel's far worse than
Oh, yeah, it is. And it's still better than Coming to America. Or it's still better than Back to the Future. Back to the Future, though, is what it is. And I'll say it wasn't safe. It wasn't a safe thing, back then. But it's a little bit too kitschy, But I can understand why people like it. And I can understand why it's a vehicle to sell a ton of Pepsi. But what makes me the most mad about it, it just reminds me how lazy we are because we don't have a goddamn hoverboard. Like, it irks me. It's like, we should have figured this out by now. Yeah. It's already been in the movie. Just please give me a hoverboard and I'm going to be fine. Now, you're going to be like, oh, this thing, you can use those fucking little things, but it's on the ground. I need to be off the motherfucking ground.
Yeah. Do you give them any credit, though, for inventing the incest porn genre?
Well, That's another part that's not really talked about, and that's what I'm saying when I say it's not really a safe film. It's like the mom's trying to fuck her son. That's gross.
Hey.
That's gross.
And then poor Crispin Glover got to, like, a couple years later, be like, man, this kid really looks like that guy you were trying to fuck right before you got pregnant.
God damn. Okay, so let's go back to the first question from Shankster. What former player is Jerry?
Wait a minute. There's another part of the question.
The original question, basically, yes.
Steve Stone. The negotiations are going to really go sideways, and he's going to end up the manager.
I mean, literally, and if what James Fox said today is true, and they're literally considering having AJ Przinsky.
You know what? That's the reason I could cancel my season ticket. That's fucking numbnuts as the manager.
This is like internet bullshit, internet rumor, bullshit meatball fucking things, and I don't think Speak has any. Like, you saw somebody tweet this somewhere.
Yes.
Like, that's his source, because this is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. And the reason it's dumb is because the people are like, Tony Roos is not cutting it. Let's hire somebody with absolutely zero experience and bring him in, and he will lead the team because of the attitude I perceive he has. That is what it is. You brought in a Hall of Fame manager because he'll tell you he's a Hall of Fame manager, but he is sucking. You think he sucks, and this guy has won more games than anybody. So it's like, it's hard for me to believe that the people that don't like Tony Roos are all of a sudden be like, bring me AJ. Bring me AJ. They tried it once. It's called Robin Ventura. It didn't work. Get the fuck out.
It's a little more obvious, though, because we've all watched AJ Przinsky call a game.
Yeah.
So we know his level of preparation for a game. And it's not great.
No.
Like, he doesn't seem like he knows everything about each team, which is a requirement when you're a manager. And he has way more time and way less pressure.
Yeah, that's right.
Doing that as an analyst.
Which of the games did he call for Mark Burley? Was perfect game or his no-hitter?
Oh, when he said call, he means TV. This is I got confused.
Oh, I thought you were talking about.
I'm talking about TV calls.
TV analyst.
But how many did he call the no-hitter? No.
Well, I'm not.
Did he call the
I
perfect
think
game?
he called
No.
good games as a catcher.
No,
You're saying as a TV analyst.
I'm saying as a TV
Yeah.
analyst.
And MSS is saying maybe not so much as a catcher.
Yeah.
And
No, I
I
don't
can
think
kind of
it's
see
that
that.
good.
I kind of hear that, man. So as a group, not AJ Przinsky, hopefully. I don't know. I don't know who's even out there. Joey Cora. Bring Joey Cora.
No, we're not bringing Joey.
We don't want Joey Cora, but I'm just saying that's.
You know who I want, and I will scorch the ends of the earth with this play.
Yeah.
Blackjack McDonald. Because first off, Blackjack is resoundingly hated by Jerry Reinsdorf.
Yeah.
Okay, and plus he has a big ass mouth. So I'm assuming there's a huge contingent of White Sox where it's like, Blackjack says how it is. I want him to come in and fail so everyone can look at him and laugh, and then we go for it.
All right, the next question from Soxwood. Soxwood says, why is MSS's wiener so big? Why is your wiener so big? What did you do to make it so big?
I mean, a lot of milking guy. And it's probably hormone milk, I'm sure. Like, yeah, I drink a shitload of milk.
That's how the 70s was, man.
2012.
All right.
A lot of stretching.
That's
stretches it out.
I used to chug beers upside down hanging from my penis. What do they call that? They call that.
I'm not gonna name it. Don't name it. Don't be canceled.
He also uses Mr. Big Cream all the time. He doesn't want to tell everyone that. He's working on a sponsorship deal, so he doesn't want to throw it out there just yet. But okay, so next question is from Dougie Fresh. Dougie Fresh says, you can only have one style of adult beverage for the rest of your life. What would it be, and why would it be Malort? Treasy.
It would not be Malort.
No Malort.
It'd probably be rye.
Okay.
I feel like I could do a lot with that for the rest of my life, and I always enjoy it. So I'll probably go with that.
MSS?
You know what? I'm going to go with something that I know it's going to shock both of you. Buffalo Trace. All I need, bourbon.
Wow.
Bourbon.
Stick with the bourbon.
I like Buffalo Trace
Bourbon
so much that I would marry it and give it babies.
I'll give it babies.
Wow.
Like sell them from like.
Yep.
With his big wiener.
I will buy
His
them.
big wiener, making those babies. A red wine for me. That's easy. Red wine to me goes with everything. I love it. I drink it all the time. If they had acceptable red wine in the ballpark, I would drink it during the game. And I don't care what shame I would get for it.
This is obviously if we can't have Goose Island. Yeah.
Of course. Yeah.
Goose Island's the number one.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's of course. This is the assumption that you're put off on an island. This is all you can do.
Powered by Goose Island, but we don't pick Goose Island. That's the last I was thinking.
Does Goose Island make wine? When it does, then I'll pick.
Oh my God, they might. They probably have a wine
start.
spritzer.
Shouldn't they?
Yeah,
Shouldn't they start?
have a wine spritzer.
All right. Next question is from Jerry O'Sullivan. Jerry.
What's
He
up, Jerry?
says, "What's up, Jerry?"
You know
He
you don't
says,
like me.
"What's more to the selfie me, not you?"
Yeah.
I'm better looking at you.
Oh, hey,
Okay,
what's up, MSS? Hey, look, can we take a selfie? Fuck you, Jerry.
He says, "What's more likely, Pujols out homering any individual White Sox or a Brave hitting 20 home runs?" Just for the record, Albert Pujols has 14 home runs right now. and that would be tied for the lead on the White Sox. And it's Jose Abreu and Andrew Vaughn both at 14 home runs. So what do you guys think? What's more likely, Pujols out homering the whole group, or Jose Abreu getting the 20?
I think it's Pujols. I think it's Pujols, only because I don't think there's a possibility of Abreu getting to 20.
Yeah.
Like, I wonder how much, like, if they're out of it, how much they're even going to play Abreu, or how much they're going to give reps to Vaughn at first.
They're not out of it yet. I'm still going to go with Jose Abreu hitting over 20. Because the guy is good in garbage time, as everyone's told.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
So as soon as we're out of it, he just starts hitting a goddamn fucking home run every fucking time. He's probably every other time he gets up, he's gonna hit a home run. So I'm gonna go with 22 homers for Jose Abreu on the year.
Oh, that's gonna be
8 more home runs by the end of the year.
Baby. Hot September. All right, I'm gonna also go with Jose Abreu hitting 20 home runs, only because Albert Pujols is being used in very specific role only against left-handers. St. Louis has decided that this is the role, and he's really thriving in it. He's absolutely killing. But I don't think you're going to break that just to try to get him to 700 home runs or anything. I think you're going to stick with that role. Hope to bring him back next year if he doesn't get to 700. So I'm going to say Jose Abreu, even though I think it's going to be tough for Jose to get to 20.
Yeah.
So how many think he's going to get?
I don't know, maybe
Just 20?
17? Maybe 17 home runs for Abreu?
You would bet it on 20?
Yeah, I bet under on 20. I bet under 20 if I could.
Take the over.
Yeah. We'll bet something on that. All right. Next question is from Sam Reeves. And Sam Reeves says, who would you take in a fight? MSS after an edible, or Josh Nelson after 15 miles on the Peloton? I'll start. MSS is edible or not, he's a fucking house. And then, Josh ain't no pussy or anything. He's a scrapper, but this is a huge man. I'm taking MSS just because of the size and strength factor.
Yeah.
I'm going to take MSS just because I think MSS has been in more fights.
I don't know. I'm not sure.
I don't know.
Not exactly sure, but
he's from the mean streets of
Wisconsin.
Wisconsin.
We gotta ask him.
I gotta find this out. Maybe Josh will be beating the shit out of people. I don't know.
He might be.
Josh keeps that part of his past buried, I'm sure, under a lot of Fritos. But we'll see. And here's the reason that I would take myself in this fight, is because him not being on the treadmill or on the Peloton for 15 miles, he's gonna be a little gassed out.
A little bit gassed.
I can move a lot, I'm like, if somebody said, rest in peace, Bernsey, I'm surprisingly quick for being as big as I am.
You're on edibles.
But I'm on edibles, that's true. It depends what edible I take. Am I taking a hybrid? Am I taking a little bit more sativa for it, a little bit
25 grams.
Oh, Josh Nelson, he could just sit on me and I would be done. You give me a 10 of that brunch, I'm done. I'll just be sitting there going, oh, God.
All right, depends on
I'll just absorb the punches.
The poisons.
He's a lightweight. So we got to go with Josh.
Josh probably the right choice if I've taken 25 milligrams. I might be dead after we do that. Just wake me up.
At least asleep.
Yeah.
And the last question is from Billy Wires. Billy asks, which member of White Sox Twitter smells the best? Which member of White Sox Twitter smells the worst when they come by and visit us in the section? Now, I'm going to admit to you guys something that I don't think I've ever told anyone. When you come through and I give you a hug or whatever and fist bump, I get a big snout of you. I try to smell the people that come through. And there's no one that sticks out as being either excellent smelling or terrible smelling on the regular. Some of you have bad or better days out there, but I can't. No one comes to mind that's like, oh man, really, I can't wait until they come through because they smell like cinnamon rolls or some shit. Or that person always smells like a pile of shit. I better cover my nose when they come through. I don't got any of that. I mean, you guys got anything here?
I have it. Actually, the answer is the same person.
Okay.
And it's Wally Money. Sometimes it's really good, and you're like, oh hey, this guy smells like ass next to me. I don't know him. He didn't come here. He just sat here because it's a cheap seat.
Yeah.
Oh, Wally's Money is wafting into my thing. And then it's also, oh fuck, Wally Money is wafting into this scent. Like I'm trying to enjoy outdoor air, and I can't because the fucking cool water is just intensified up my nose, and I can't smell anything other than that.
So I'm with you a little bit. So let me go. Best smelling is Mike Turnipseed because he smells like weed every time. Every time I hug that guy, I get a little bit hot.
Yeah.
Right. So he's
marijuana and ocean.
Yeah. Yes. He just finished surfing and smoking. So he's number one. And Wally, I'm sorry, buddy, you smell the worst, man. You smell like two teenagers just fucked in a car.
You don't like that smell? I think it's, beauty's in the eye of the beholder when it comes to that.
You're a little nostalgic about it. I didn't have as many backseat car experiences. I was more of a back alley guy. That's maybe why I like Turnipseed a little bit more.
So Back to the Future is the same as teenagers fucking in the car. Got it. We got it all lined up. Full circle. All right, that's it. That's our show for today. We'll see you at the ballpark. Hope we're going to end this losing streak. I'm tired of losing. I don't care if we fall out of this thing or not. I just want to see some good baseball. So,
And
peace to all of you.
And take a picture of how we look there now, and then we're going to have a whole nother week of drinking. And